Hi, I'm Julie. This is Reggie. Welcome back to Read Life. We also have Isabella with us, but she does not want to be on camera, so teenage mode has been enacted. But yeah, we are on the Carnival Horizon, July 4th, 2021, first sailing out of Florida. So fun stuff. Some things have changed, but for the most part, it feels a lot like a regular cruise.
It definitely feels like a regular cruise to me. Other than a couple of the procedures, everything else is good. So what are some things that you've noticed that are pretty much the same?
Pretty much the same. There's no social distancing. There's some people are wearing masks on board. The majority of people are not wearing masks on board. Everything is open. All of the venues are open. Let's see, what else?
There's no, like you said, there's no spacing or anything like that, so the social distancing isn't there. I've seen in some casinos where they will turn every other machine off. Everything's on. The casino is completely jam-packed because there's also an elite cruise going on right now, so some of the highest tier gamblers for Carnival, that's not either one of us, but they are on board and they're enjoying themselves. No limits on the number of people at the craps table or any of the blackjack tables that I've seen. Buffet, you can serve your own food. It feels like a normal cruise to me.
Yeah, regular buffet. The food is out there and people are being regular people at the buffet, so depending on how you feel about that...
That's both good and bad.
Yeah, both good and bad. There's also nobody at the entrance to the buffet even suggesting that you wash your hands or use hand sanitizer.
That is true.
The hand washing machines are there. Sanitizer is everywhere on the ship. But there is nobody by any of those things, even recommending that, hey, since you're coming in to touch all the food, maybe you should wash your hands.
Right.
So as you can imagine... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Or at least use sanitizer.
One of the two, yeah.
Yeah, because one of the things that, I can't remember exactly where I read it, but people were definitely saying, yeah, there's going to be personnel actually stationed before the actual food service area in the buffets to make sure that people are using sanitizer. And that, like Julie said, absolutely is not happening at all.
No, definitely not happening. And if you've been on a cruise buffet before, you know there are some that are very vigilant and the majority are not. So that's that about the buffet. Very interesting. So let's see. Food. I think that's most of the things. I mean, honestly, to say things are the same, like tonight there's a comedy show. We're going to check that out and see what that's like, but there doesn't seem to be any sort of distancing in any of the theaters. There's no markings saying that you can't sit, wherever you want to, up to, other guests and families, and wherever you want to sit, go ahead and sit.
So, a positive difference, we touched on it as something that we were excited about in our pre-cruise video, our pre-cruise live stream, and that was the e-muster situation. So we did experience the e-muster situation. It didn't happen the way that I thought it was going to happen. I assumed that there was going to be a much more sophisticated situation with the app where you would actually have some sort of logging that you had actually gone through the video. None of that was the case.
There was not a quiz.
There
was nothing to check off to say, I watched this.
Right. It's like the regular muster stations, but they were doing them in groups of people as people arrived. Since we went early, it was literally the three of us sitting down, and we watched a crew member go through putting on the life vest. And that was it. And they, had scanned our cards and made sure that, we were accounted for as having been through the muster drill. But then something else happened that I was not aware that was going to happen. And that was they actually had the regular muster drill with the, all of the announcements over the PA. They told people to stop using electronic devices, and I was like, that's weird because we've already been through the drill. So
yeah, that was a little strange. Yeah, they did the full, like, in the event of emergency, they went through the whole spiel. They sounded the horn, all of those things before we were able to sail. So I don't know if that's new, if that's going to stay, but for us, that's what they did. Some other things that are different. So when we were checking in, from the time that we got to the door to the port, we did have to wear masks throughout the entire terminal process. It is a little crazy getting in. They did have boarding times. They were calling boarding times kind of out of order, but we were there early, so we had a 10:30 A01 boarding. And so the only groups that had priority were suites. Everyone else had to be in their boarding group. So we kind of went in. I think if you have an accessibility need, you can also go over to the suite line, but that was not very clear. So we made it through, got into security, made it through the security. It wasn't a big line because they did have it staggered, like I said, with the groups. But as we were walking in at 10:30 for our 10:30 boarding time, they were calling 11:30 to 12.
Right. That was really surprising to me. Like, not even close to 11 o'clock. And they were literally already calling the next group. And once we actually got into the terminal, it was packed. There were a lot of people in the terminal.
Yeah, the terminal was a little bit crowded, and it was a little confusing from there as well. So we knew that with Bella, we had been told that there would be a special needs line. We could see there was a special needs area. We couldn't really figure out how to get there because things were sort of roped off. So we just asked some people, and they brought us right up to the front, and we were able to check in. Some check-in snafus. There's definitely some new employees getting trained and new ways of doing things. Everything was electronic via passport, so that was a little different.
Except there was a piece of paper that had a barcode that was different than a boarding pass. So that was another thing that was different, and that was, I think, a combination of the check of your documentation, your medical documentation. That showed that you actually qualified to be on the cruise. And that same piece of paper was stamped after you went through the process. I think that's what it was, wasn't it?
No.
Okay. All right. Then
but
you're going to remember all of the details.
Basically, they say print your boarding passes, and every time I've printed out my boarding pass versus using it on my phone, the boarding pass does not scan. So they reprint them at the pier, and they give you this little slip of paper that is a reprint of your boarding pass that they can actually scan. At the security desk, they did check both for our documents. We use passports as well as vaccine cards, and made sure that we had gone through the full vaccination process, and then we went. That was the only time they checked the vaccine cards, was at security.
And they stamped the boarding pass
it.
as well.
And then we went to the check-in area. We got checked in. We got a stamp there, and then we were kind of, again, we could see the special needs area, but it wasn't clear how to get there. But really, asking anybody, as soon as I asked anybody, they all immediately jumped into action. I was like, they said that there would be a special needs section. Bella has autism. They were like, oh, okay, come on through here. And they just opened up the gates and sent us right over. So that worked out really well. We waited a really short period of time in the special needs waiting area. And then we were heading on the ship.
Lots of excitement, tons of excitement. Even the people that were checking our boarding passes and making sure that our photos were in their systems, they were hooting and hollering, and this was right before Christine Duffy had made a speech in the terminal. The CEO of Carnival Corporation, the full corporation, was also there, and he was greeting people as we were boarding. Lots of we had the DJ playing music. I do believe that we actually made it onto John Heald's Facebook live stream.
I can confirm we made it on the live stream. We were some of the first people to actually get on the ship. So yes, if you watch John Heald's Embarkation live stream in the atrium party, we did make the video. So go and check that out for sure.
I think I have John Heald actually recording us.
Yes, now we're Facebook famous. Not really, but it was fun. I mean, you could definitely tell the atmosphere was like just very emotional, both, happy. You could tell some of the crew members were really like pushing the happy, because you could also just see a little bit of overwhelm at being back on the ship, but super fun atmosphere. And then we were able to go straight to our cabin.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Everything was ready. Cabin was in great condition, ready for us, and yeah, it was cool to be able to drop our bags off and just start to explore the ship.
So let's see, what else? Embarkation Day.
I think this is another one of these things that, other than a few of the changes, actually doing the parking to terminal to check-in process, it's felt like a normal cruise.
Yeah, it has felt very normal. And then lunch we had in the Lido, typical Lido Embarkation Day lunch. And then dinner we actually ate at the Guy's Pig and Anchor Bar.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Which was really good. So interesting point of information for those who are also gluten-free. In the Pig and Anchor, all of the meats are gluten-free and all of the sauces are gluten-free. So we actually shared a barbecue platter that's for 2 people, and they did a really nice job of separating the gluten things like the cornbread and the onion rings, and gave those to Reggie. And I had the coleslaw and the pickles, and they were very well segregated from everything, so the food was definitely very safe there, and really, really good, like, fall-off-the-bone barbecue.
And the cornbread was amazing. It's probably some of the best cornbread that I've ever had in my life. I'm not a cornbread connoisseur, but it was incredibly good and certainly noteworthy.
Then we got Bella signed up for the casino. She is now 18, her very first time in the casino. They were all very excited for her, wished her lots of beginner's luck. She has said so far that is her favorite thing on the ship, playing games in the casino, so we may have created a monster.
Oh, and that actually brings up another difference. So, Platinum and Diamond guest, in the casino, normally you get a free entry into either the slot tournament or the blackjack tournament. And because they're not doing those, which is really interesting because everything else is completely the same and there's no distancing, so it seems like they could do it, but they've decided not to do those tournaments. And in lieu of that, you actually get a $25 credit to either use on table games or as credits for slot machines. And Bella got those credits as well because she is platinum.
Yep, platinum and 18. Big momentous occasion. So that was a lot of fun in the casino. The casino was very busy. As Reggie mentioned, there is an elite cruise going on. So slot machines were few and far between. Half the casino is smoking, the other half is non-smoking. But all of the machines were pretty much taken the majority of the time, even though they were all on. So I was actually kind of surprised. I feel like the casino was kind of small for the size of the ship that it is.
It does seem small. The casino on the Carnival Magic, which is roughly the same size ship from a displacement and space perspective, definitely feels a lot bigger to me. Doesn't it?
I do not recall. I have no recollection.
So that's the one where we did the Ultra.
Yeah, I do not recall.
Okay.
I was there.
Yeah.
Don't know what the casino looked like.
Well, and since I spent almost 40 hours in the casino on that cruise, it feels a lot bigger.
I don't know.
And much more open. So, yeah.
So that was our first day on board. That pretty much covers everything for Embarkation Day. So definitely stay tuned. We've got 5 more days to go. So yeah, thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe so you can be on top of all of the information. And again, if you have any questions, anything you want us to check out, look into, we are happy to do so. Just let us know in the comments and we'll get out there and see what we can find.
Yep. Awesome. Thanks a lot for watching.
All right. See you next time.